The deadly conflict between Israel and Iran has entered its fourth day, with both sides widening their attacks. Overnight, Iran struck an Israeli oil refinery and damaged part of the power grid. In Israel, explosions were seen and residential buildings were hit. Terrified civilians and rising death tolls, casualties are mounting. In Israel, 24 people have been killed since hostilities began. In Iran, 224 people have been killed. Tehran residents are attempting to flee the capital in search of safety. As Israel and Iran trade waves of strikes, US President Donald Trump has said publicly and privately that he wants to keep the US out of the fray. Trump opposed an Israeli plan to kill Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, according to two sources. This weekend, a senior US official told CNN the Israelis had an opportunity to kill the supreme leader. The US communicated to Israel that Trump opposed the plan, the official said, and the plan was not executed. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu denied reports of such a plan. The US has offered defensive support to Israel, intercepting an onslaught of Iranian reprisal strikes. But Trump has stopped well short of joining Israel's military in its attempts to dismantle Iran's nuclear facilities. The Israel Defense Forces (IDF) said it had destroyed more than 120 of Iran's missile launchers, which it said were a third of its total, over 4 days of hostilities. The Israeli Air Force destroyed more than 20 surface-to-surface missiles on Sunday evening before they were launched toward Israeli territory, IDF spokesperson Efi Defrin said Monday. Defrin said the Air Force had used around 50 fighter jets and aircraft to strike around 100 military targets in Isfahan, central Iran. In these strikes, more than 20 missiles were simultaneously struck, minutes before they were to be launched toward the territory of the State of Israel, the spokesperson said. Also, US Embassy branch in Tel Aviv suffers minor damage from Iranian missile strike, ambassador says. The US Embassy branch in Tel Aviv sustained minor damage from a nearby Iranian missile strike, Mike Huckabee, the US ambassador to Israel, said Monday. Huckabee said the shockwaves from the nearby blast had caused some damage to the building, but said there had been no injuries to US personnel. He also said that the US Embassy in Israel will remain closed on Monday because the shelter-in-place order is still in effect.
איפה המקלט?
למטה, במדרגות.
יאללה, בואו נרד.
אתה רוצה להם את האירוע?
כן.
Israel and Iran are battling for a third consecutive day. The Israeli Air Force is pressing ahead with more airstrikes on targets inside Iran. The Iranians have been responding with deadly barrages of missile fire on Israeli cities. Israel says it has inflicted some significant damage on Iran. Remember, they've already killed a number of top commanders and hit other military targets. Also, of course, they have been targeting these nuclear facilities across Iran for these past 3 days. Equally significant, the Israeli Air Force now says it has taken out most of Iran's air defenses. It has virtual free movement over Iran's skies. That will make it easier for the Air Force to press ahead with these airstrikes. However, they have not been able to halt the missile barrages. Iran has been launching dozens of missiles, some deadly strikes overnight. Israel, of course, does have that sophisticated air defense system, but officials here say it is not 100% effective, and we saw the result of that in these deadly strikes overnight. Israel is pressing ahead. It has issued some evacuation orders inside Iran. They are striking more targets. Of course, if the missile fire does continue, that could put some pressure on Israel to scale back or to halt this operation, but we haven't seen any signs of that happening yet, so we are looking at an open-ended operation.
זה הבטון המתיישב?
כן.
זה הרחבה שלו?
כן, אני יודע מה זה הולכים, אבל זה מה זה הולכים. זה יכול להיות עוד. אני אחריות.
תראו לי טרקטור. למה? שם.
הופה. אני הייתי שמח, אבל אין לי אפשרות, אני צריך הכל צלם. אני לא מחליט את ההחלטות האלה בכלל. אני מבין? אני דיווח, זה הסדר. כל אחד אני בא ספורט, מספיק מה שאמרת שם? לא מסיים לדבר. לא התחיל לי. מה היה?